Yes, it is me, Mark Vendor here again today. Now listen, there's a building on Fontibel that carries the name of two iconic Barbadian media people, Sir Fred Gollop and Harold Hoyte, the Hoyte and Gollop building on Fontibel by Nation House. And this past week, the Caribbean Broadcasting Union inducted Mr. Harold Hoyte into the Media Hall of Fame at its annual conference in Antigua. And his wife, Noreen, she was there to receive the award posthumously for the great man. Now, you see me, Market Vendor, when you talk about, people who were greats in the media industry, Harold Hoyte would have to stand head and shoulders out there with the best and even better than most of the best. He was a man who also had the conviction to put his money where his mouth was and to take a risk that few men at the time would have been willing to take. And that is to form something called the Nation newspaper. Back in the 70s, my goodness gracious. He was the first chairman, and then of course he became the editor, and then the editor-in-chief and the editor emeritus. And along the way he wrote a number of books. But it was his biting writing, man. Let me tell you something. At election time, oh, lost. When he was on the campaign trail, you could not wake up a morning without picking up that newspaper and following what Harold Hoyte had to write. And the books also showed meticulous attention to research and to detail. Even some of the more humorous books, one of which I keep close to me all the time, anytime I want to put a little smile on my face. It was an honor and a privilege to work alongside this man. And even though we never worked in the same organization, we worked for the same company overall. He down at the Nation, and yours truly up at from Fontibel up in River Road. Harold Hoyte. Finally, he has been given that honor as being one of the Hall of Famers. Gone too soon, let me face it, because he was still, even though he had retired, was at the height of his intellectual capacity and was blazing a trail with his writings all over the Caribbean. Respected from Jamaica, Trinidad and Tobago, and all over the Caribbean. But he was a visionary too as well, because he went and started out a newspaper coming up against a near 100-year-old newspaper and made sure that that paper coming out initially once a week and then twice, three times, until finally it was a daily newspaper, became the landmark of newspaper writing and newspaper circulation in Barbados and one of the finest in the Caribbean. He set the bar real high in terms of journalism. So not only was he a great writer, but he was also a great leader, and people followed him wherever he wanted to take them, and he certainly took it from the bottom all the way up to the top. So I say today, well done. Harold, I won't be listening, my brother, up there so with the heavenly angels. Along with Sir Fred, hit a libation for the boys and celebrate your final elevation to the Caribbean Media Hall of Fame, where you truly belong alongside the other greats who are in that Hall of Fame. Harold Hoyte, well done. Gone but not to be forgotten. Not only will your name now be adorned on a building, but your name is also imprinted across the media landscape of the Caribbean. And you excelled at it in Jamaica, in Trinidad and Tobago, Barbados, and wherever else you put your pen and your feet. Mark it gone for now. I am blessed and I am honored to have known you and to have worked alongside of you. Man with a great sense of humor too as well. If only all of today's young media people, journalists and broadcasters, and all of you in the back ends too as well, will only seek to emulate the example of these great men. Market Vendor gone for now. We have a blessed and a wonderful day. You hear?